So guys, so just let me brief you about my profile. First of all, see, my name is Sabir and I have 10 plus years of experience in IT. And in the clouds, I'm working since the past 3 years. Okay, 3 plus, you can say. Okay, I'm working on this cloud technology. Uh, and currently serving in some corporate, obviously. That's the thing. And when it comes to this, let's start with this now. That is Azure data engineering. So guys, before we just see what is an Azure data factory is, guys, what is an Azure data factory? First of all, before we see what is an Azure data factory, okay, what is an Azure data factory? Let's try to first of all see here what is a Azure data engineering is. Okay, so once the Azure data engineering, if you get it, you can guys, you can understand everything. So now I'm using it first of all as a ADF. So what's it? ADF. That is nothing but which stands for what? Which stands for Azure. Yes, what's it? Which stands for what? Azure data. Okay, guys, Azure data factory, ADF, which stands for what? Azure data factory. What is it? Azure data factory. So what's the first thing we have it? Azure data factory. So before we see what is an Azure data factory is, let us try to understand first of all what is an Azure data engineering. So guys, when we talk about the Azure data engineering, okay, when we talk about the Azure data engineering, the Azure data engineering, okay, is a complete solution for the, it is a complete solution, you can say. It is a complete solution packed here, okay, complete solution packed here in the form of a service, in the form of what is that? Service. What solution? Okay, what solution? All the solutions are packed here in the form of a service. When we talk about this, when we talk about the Azure data engineering, that means Azure is the name, guys. First of all, let me explain you. Azure is nothing but this is the name given by the that is a tech giant called what is that? Microsoft. Microsoft is a technical giant. Okay, so okay, where they have come out with many other softwares from time to time. Now this is the, guys, we can say the first that is the cloud service they have started with a name called what? Azure. That means the Microsoft is marketing their product of clouds with a name called what? Azure. Data means as it is the information. Okay, data means what is that? Information. So Azure data means what? Microsoft data, you can say, or Azure data. Azure is the name. Data is the information. Engineering, whereas guys, this engineering includes the following. What's that? Guys, you have the data summarization. And can you see here? Then we have the data visualization. Okay. Data visualization. Data visualization. And then we have, okay, that is also, we can say, okay, that is data, we can say even, okay, visualization or data reporting. Data reporting. Okay, all these are, okay, all these are the various, guys. All these are the, guys, all these are the, yes, all these are the that is nothing but the things which are clubbed into one under one roof. These are all are clubbed here. These all are clubbed in under the one roof when we talk about the data, that is Azure data engineering. What is it? Azure data engineering. Whereas when we talk about the Azure data engineering, guys, the Azure data engineering, so in broad, what I can say is Azure data engineering is nothing but this is a, yes, guys, this is what? It is a service, or we can say it is a cloud service. It is a, yes, guys, cloud service. It is a cloud service. It is a cloud service provided by the Microsoft. It's a cloud service provided by, yes, provided by what? Provided by Microsoft. It's a cloud service, or it's a bunch of cloud services, you can say. It is a bunch of cloud services. It is a bunch of cloud services. It is a bunch of cloud services provided by the Microsoft. Provided by what's that? Microsoft. Now, what are those services individually? Those services are Azure Data Factory is the one important service, a major service you have it. And then you have what's that? Azure, guys, Databricks. And then apart from this Azure Databricks, guys, what's the other thing you have it? Yes, apart from the Azure Databricks, what's the other thing we have it? So we can say that the Azure Databricks. Okay, then we have, tell me. We have what's it? Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse. Okay, likewise. Okay, and then you have what's it? Azure AI. Okay, artificial intelligence is there. Okay, Azure AI. So I can say AI, Azure artificial intelligence. And then apart from this, even we have the Azure machine learning, that is, we call it here Azure that is ML. Okay, AML, that is Azure machine learning. These are all, guys, these are all, what is that? Various services provided by the Microsoft to perform the job. These are the various services provided by the Microsoft to perform the various jobs. Whereas when we talk about the Azure Data Factory, guys, everyone, the Azure Data Factory. So what is this Azure Data Factory is? Guys, basically, the Azure Data Factory, everyone, the Azure Data Factory is nothing but, now I'm just describing this. What is this Azure Data Factory? Azure Data Factory is a service which is provided to perform the job of ETL. What is it? To perform the job of ETL. Everyone, guys, everyone, to perform the job of ETL. That stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. What is it? Extraction, transformation, and loading. And what's it? Loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. So this extraction, transformation, and loading, guys, this extraction, transformation, and loading, this extraction, transformation, and loading is used to perform, guys, this extraction, transformation, and loading. It is nothing but, this is a process which performs the job on the data to perform the data summarization. So we can say that ETL is used to perform the data summarization. ETL is used to perform what? A data summarization. Getting my point? Azure Data Factory is a service provided by the Microsoft. All of you, Azure Data Factory is a service provided by the, what's that? Service provided by the Microsoft. You can say it is a service. Yes, it is a service provided by Microsoft. Provided by Microsoft. Provided by the Microsoft. It's a service provided by the, yes, guys, it is a service provided by the Microsoft. It is a service provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. That is called as what? Data summarization. So data summarization is nothing but what? To summarize the data, we require to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. So now, guys, within what is that? You have it, the Azure Data Factory, which is one of the service to provide the ETL. Whereas for the process of ETL, everyone, for the process of ETL, guys, everyone, so we require the following. What is that? We require the first thing which we require it here, it as the source. And the second thing which we require it here as, what's it, guys? Target. We require what's it? Target. So now between these two, that is called as a source and the target. Source means what? The actual source of data. Source is nothing but what? The actual source of data. Between the source and the target, we perform the job of ETL. What is that? ETL. So we can say that, guys, we can say that the job of ETL is performed The job of ETL is performed. All of you. The job of ETL is performed. The job of ETL is performed. The job of ETL is performed to load the data from the source to the target, by using the technique called what's it? Extraction, transformation, and loading. And nowadays, one more technique has been introduced here that is called as ELT. What it is called as, guys? It is called as what? ELT. What do you mean ELT? ELT stands for extraction, loading, and transformation. ELT stands for what? Extraction, loading, then last to perform the transformation. Transformation is the actual technique, guys, where you perform the data transformation. That means summarizing of the data, cutting of the data, everything will be done here. So these are the two techniques. So this is the olden technique, we have it ETL, and nowadays we are getting the ELT, that is extraction, loading, and transformation. So extraction, loading, and transformation, basically this is nowadays it's on very much coming up. Okay, so generally the corporates are using the ELT process, where suppose you have to perform the data visualization data. So for that they are using this ELT. Anyways, okay, we will discuss about this once we get into the subject what is ELT. But as of now, you can say that both processes are same. Both is used to perform the extraction, transformation, and loading between the source and the target. So guys, what is this extraction? What is this transformation? And what is this loading? How it is done? Let us try to understand with the help of an example here. Guys, I'm having a database. All of you, tell me now. I'm having a database. I'm having a database. Guys, database. So what do you understand if I'm using the word called database? Tell me now. So you might be using this word called database many times in your life. Am I right or not? Many times you might have used it. So tell me now, what is a database basically? A database, yes, guys? I want an interactive session, guys. Okay.
The database is a collection of data, structured
That's
as
it.
well as
Yes.
non-structured.
Unstructured.
Structured as well as it could be structured or unstructured.
Database means always structured. No doubt at all. Okay. There will be no. If you talk about the data can be many types: structured data, semi-structured data, etc. But database data is always into the proper form of rows and
Yes.
columns. Okay. So now, guys, what's a database? So database is a place where data is recorded in the proper form of rows and columns. That is in the form of a table. That is in the form of a table. Okay. The data which is recorded in the form of a table, the data which is recorded in the form of a table, whereas this table is the collection of what, guys? Rows and columns. Rows and what's it? Columns. What's it? Rows and columns. Rows and what is it? Columns. This database is the collection of what? Rows and columns. This database is the collection of what? Rows and columns. This database is the collection of what? Rows and columns. This database is the collection of what? Rows and columns. Okay. This database is the collection of what? Rows and columns. Now, generally, when we talk about the database, so as you know that the database is the collection of rows and columns, the database here, we can say it is divided or classified. It is what is that? Divided or classified. It is what is that? Divided or classified, we can say, into two type of sub-databases. What is that? Into two type of categories. So we can say the first one, which we call it as a, guys, everyone, TDB. That is called as what? TDB. And the second one is called as WHDB. Okay, that's it. TDB and WHDB. Whereas TDB, we can say that the TDB is nothing but it is called as a transaction database. It is called as what? Transaction database. It is called as what? Transaction database. TDB stands for what? Transaction database. TDB stands for what, guys? Transaction database. And now WHDB stands for what? Yes, guys, tell me now. Warehouse database. This is called as what? Warehouse database. That's it. Transaction database and warehouse database. Getting my point, everyone? Transaction database and warehouse database. These are the two type of databases, categories of database we can have it. Transaction database and data warehouse. Now, guys, to understand even this example, okay, let us try to see a real example. Now, guys, you wanted to purchase a book. Everyone, you wanted, listen my things, okay, listen my example carefully, and now you have to respond it, guys. Okay, suppose I wanted to buy a book for storybook. I wanted to buy a storybook, guys. I wanted to buy a storybook for the subject called, okay, or I wanted to go, or I wanted to buy a book, storybook for that is a storybook in English. I wanted to buy a storybook in English. I want a storybook in English. I want to buy it. So now I've been to the book housery, and now I've been there, everyone. I've been to the book housery, everything, and now I requested the shopkeeper to show me all the books, okay, which are in English, that is called as a English storybooks. Now tell me, once you asked him to show the English storybooks, uh, he took you to that is something but a rack where you have some hundreds of books are there. How many books? Hundreds, multiple books are there, many books are there. Now tell me, now tell me, once you come across such situation, that means you wanted to, guys, you wanted to have, or you wanted to buy a book for the subject called English. You wanted to buy a book for the subject, for a storybook of English. So, and now you ask the shopkeeper, and shopkeeper showed you a rack, but that rack is filled up with some 1,000 books. That rack is full up with some what? 1,000 books. Now tell me, are you going to, my question is that, are you going to buy, are you going to buy all the books, or one of the book, or few of the books? Tell me now. First of all of you, did you get my question or not? Just clarify me that.
Yeah.
So I think everyone is clear with the example what I used. I'll repeat my question once again if you want. See, I wanted to buy a book for an English story. Storybooks, I wanted to buy it. So I have been to the shop, and after being to the shop, I asked the shopkeeper, guys, I asked the shopkeeper to show me the books, English storybooks. So now what he did is, he took me to a rack, that is a rack, and now he showed me some books, list of some books. Many books were there. Many books. Many means many. Hundreds or thousands, you can say. Many books. Now tell me, I have to take a decision of purchasing that book now. Which book to be purchased? Tell me now. How do you take the decision of purchasing this book? Are you going to read, or is it possible for you to read all the books at the shop itself, or what is the process you follow? Tell me now, guys. A general question, nothing specific in this. Am I right?
We just saw index
Very good. Very good.
content.
So, very
Then
good. So,
based on my need, I will check the book. It is matching to the topics or
yeah, that is the one. Yes, very good. Any other?
if someone is saying the book was someone is give a who's had experience on the book, they will give the idea means I can do.
Okay, that's also very good. Yeah. Any other answers I can expect? Okay, guys, no issues. Okay. So now what happens is, so I can say that, or as per the discussion, what you said, so we will assume that, okay, this is a book. Guys, this is a book. Just like the database, I'm typing here book. The book has all of you. This is a book. All of you. This is a book. Okay, and that is called an English storybook is there. So once we just use a book, so as we know that the book has two different parts. What are those parts? The first part is, let us say somebody said here, index. Okay, index. So the first paper is the index paper, or we can say the index, and the second one can see here the index paper, and the second one, what is it? You have it. Apart from the index paper, you can also say it as a prefix. In some books, it will be prefix. Okay, or in some books, it will be like this summary. These are the names you will have it. Am I right? Index, prefix, summary. And now tell me now, what does the index paper, prefix paper, and summary paper will consist of? Tell me now. Yeah. Tell me guys, what does it consist of? It consists of the following information. Yes, guys, tell me now. It consists of the following information. What is it? Guys, it consists of what? Topic name, topic
and
name.
page number.
Very good. Topic name and page number. Topic name and page number. PG number. I'm just giving it page number. Am I right or not? The same prefix page also consists of what? Topic name along with the page number, and even the summary will also have the topic name along with the page number. Everyone, okay? Summary along with the page number. Everything will be there. That's it. Okay, guys. So these topics will be topic name along with the page number. Whereas, guys, on the other hand, you will also find one more content of the book, that is called as what? Detailed content. That is from the second paper. Detailed content. Detailed content. So from the second paper till the end of the book. From the second paper till the end of the book, what are all the page number? That is from the page number 2 till last page. Till last page. Till last page. The entire information will be there. Whereas in detail, that is when you talk about the detail book. But what does the first paper consist of? Tell me now. What does the first paper consist of? The page number 1 consists of what? Index. Am I right or not? The page number 1 consists of what? Index. The page number 1 consists of what, guys? Index. The page number 1 consists of what? Index. Now here you have a two index paper and the detailed contents paper from the second paper till the last paper. Now, guys, tell me, whenever you wanted to buy a book, any book, take a decision of purchasing that book or not, are you going to read the detailed contents paper from the second paper till the last, or are you going to read the index paper or the prefix paper or the summary paper? Tell me now.
Sir, summary paper.
Yes, you will read the summary paper or topic name, that is the index paper, and where you just see the number of topics covered in the book, and you will buy it. Am I right or not? Yes.
Yeah.
So now, guys, we can say that these are the two parts of a book. Together, if you club these two parts, it is called a textbook, or it is called a book here. In the same way, database is like your book. Database is also like your book, where it has two parts. What's a transaction database is the first part. Second part is what? Warehouse database. So we can say that just like the index, all of you, just like the index, you have a data warehouse. Data warehouse or warehouse database, you can say anything. Just like your index, we have a data warehouse where summarized data will be recorded. Where which kind of data is recorded here? Summarized data. Where all summarized data will be recorded here. Whereas the detail, just like your book, from the second paper till the last paper of the book, can see here, from the second paper till the last paper of the book, this is called as a content. Am I right? The detailed content. So detailed contents generally can see here, it is recorded here in the form of, what is it? It is recorded here into this one. What is that? You have it. It is recorded here into this. That is called a detailed content. Whereas why it is used? Tell me now. Suppose you want to actually why this index is given and why this detailed is given, I will just tell you that with the help of the same example. Now here in the summary paper, you have a topic name. What's the topic name? or what there is a story book. You have a story name called what? Can you see it? The Little Angel. Page number 10 to page number 56. Tell me now. It's written like this. On the index paper, it is written like this. Guys, everyone is following or not? Huh?
Yeah.
So if at all you wanted to know what is the topic you have in the page, that is in the Little Angel, that is nothing but the Little Angel, the Little Angel, the Little Angel. You wanted to know what is the thing you have exactly, what is the story it's about. Then you have to go and start reading from what? From the second paper, or else you have to start reading from the 10th paper by going into the detailed 10th paper and end the reading at the 56th page. That means 10 to 56 papers you have to read it. How many papers? 10 to 56 papers you have to read it. 10 to
50.
yes guys, 10 to 56 paper you have to read it to take a decision. Am I right? So whereas we can say that this detailed data is recorded for what? Detailed data is recorded for what? Can you say it is used for verification? Yes, verification. And this is used for what? To take a decision. Am I right or not? By looking into the index paper, you're taking a decision whether to purchase the book or not. And by using the detailed contents part, you are verifying what exactly the thing you have in this particular story. So in the same way here also, guys, what should you have? Transaction database. Transaction database holds the data in detail, and this is used for what? Verification. This is used for what? Verification. Whereas the data warehouse holds the data which is used for what? Data warehouse holds the data which is used for what? Just tell me now, which is used for what, guys? The data warehouse data is always used for decision making. That means whether to buy this book or reject this book, you will decide it by using what is that? The index paper. And now after buying this book, if at all you wanted to know the detail, then you have to start reading from the first part till the ending part. Am I right or not? This is the example is about. Now, guys, can you say here? Suppose you have to now tell me first, which paper is written first out of these two parts of your book? Which part is written first according to you? The detailed part is written first or the summary paper is written first?
Summary.
No.
The detailed part.
Yes. Always, always make sure the detailed part is written first, not the summary part. The detailed part is written first. Based on the detailed part, the summary is developed. That means, first of all, the transaction database is developed. Based on the transaction database only, a data warehouse is developed. Getting my point? Based on the transaction database only, a data warehouse is developed. A data warehouse is developed. So now, guys, in the same way here also, now, guys, suppose you have, how many books are there? Let us say 50,000 books. How many books are there, guys? Can you tell me? Or 30,000 books? How many books are there? 30,000 books. Now, guys, tell me, is it possible for you to write the index paper for all the 30,000 books manually? My question is that if at all you are an author or you have a 30,000 books are there, can you write the index paper for all the 30,000 books manually with a pen and paper?
No, it is.
We can write it, but a lot of time will take. Am I right or not? So whereas for that, here we use a technical support. We use what is a technical support. In the same way here also, if at all you have a data written in a detailed manner, just like your transaction or just like your detailed part of your book, and now you want to convert into data warehouse. A data warehouse has to be developed. For that, here as you have very huge amount of data, to perform this process, we use the ETL. We use the service called, we use a technique called what? ETL, which stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. And for this extraction, transformation, and loading, guys, here we use various technologies, such as we have the Informatica is one, and then you have Ab Initio, etc. Ab Initio, okay, Ab Initio, etc. Okay, these are the various kind of softwares provided. Now, guys, the question is that when the softwares are provided, then what is it about the cloud? What is this cloud? So you can perform. So till here, everyone is clear or not? Yes, guys?
So that Informatica and Ubuntu is a technology or a software?
It is basically a software
Which is
developed
used for ETL.
developed on ETL. Developed
Okay.
on the ETL. Developed on the ETL. These are the softwares developed on the ETL to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. But okay, now guys, then afterwards, okay, then afterwards, let us try to understand this. Okay, so now it's clear. So now, guys, what about the cloud? What is that you have it? Cloud. So what is this cloud is, and what is the on-premises? What is the cloud and what is the on-premises? So now let us try to understand this event too. Okay, what is the cloud and what is the on-premises? Now, guys, for a cloud and on-premises, the very best example I can give you of your mobile phone. So everyone is using mobile phone nowadays, isn't it or not? So whereas when we use a mobile phone, if you at all you want to store a very large amount of information, if at all you want to store a very large amount of information, generally you will adopt it storing. Generally, you will adopt it storing in your mobile phone. That is into memory called what? Inbuilt memory. Into inbuilt memory. Am I right or not? If your inbuilt memory is full, then immediately you are switching it to the drive. That is called as a Google Drive or iDrive, whatever, iCloud, whatever you have it when you are using an iPhone. Okay, you will go to the iCloud and start it. Am I right or not? You'll go to the iCloud and start it, storing the data. So now tell me, if you store the data in the Google Drive or in the iCloud, can you access the data from anywhere apart, that is anywhere from the globe, or you can access the data from only that particular part? Tell me now. Suppose you're residing in Hyderabad. In only Hyderabad, you can access the data if you store the data into the that is the Google Drive or iClouds, or else you can go to the America tomorrow and access your data. Tell me now, what's the situation is here?
So we can access it from anywhere.
Yes, we can access it from the anywhere, any part of the globe, we can access it. Am I right? Any part of the globe. So hence, we can say that that particular, that is nothing but drive data, which you store it for your mobile phone. The drive data is the cloud data. The drive data is what is that? The cloud data. So the whatever the Google Drive you're using it, okay, all the Google Drives, this is called as what? Cloud environment data. Google Drive, everything is called as what? Cloud environment data. Your mobile phone, your inbuilt memory in your mobile phone, everything, this comes under what? On-premises. That is the physical system. That is called as what? On-premises. That is called as a physical system. Okay. So here you have a two things. What is it? Cloud and on-premises system. So whereas, can you see here? Suppose you have, as you know that the process of ETL is done between the source and the target. I can have like this. Can you see here? I can have source. What is my source? My source is the my computer. My computer. I want some file. Okay, some file here. Okay, sales info .csv. This is my files. Now, guys, tell me now, in my computer, in my desktop, or there is on my this computer, I have sales info.csv as the file. And now what I wanted to do is, tell me now when, and tell me now what kind of information is this is called as? Is this a on-premises data or cloud data, guys? Tell me. My computer. So my computer,
On-premise.
On-premises.
it is called as very good on-premises. It is called as what? On-premises. My local system. And from my local system, what is it I wanted to do? I wanted to transfer this data from my local system to what is that? Azure cloud. So I want to transfer the data to what's it? Azure cloud. So now can you see here Azure cloud, or I wanted to transfer it to the Google Drive. So guys, Google Drive, I'm just giving a small example, Google Drive and all. So now here, to send this data from this one to my Google Drive, okay, we will be using the process called what? ETL. So now you must be getting it out. Array for sending it to the Google Drive from my local computer, directly I can go to the Gmail. I can get my email ID and attach the data and send it to the Google Drive. Am I right or not? So it will happen anyways. What is the necessity of all having this? A business has a proper amount of data kept in the databases, kept in the database server, a very massive amount of data, a very massive amount of data. So guys, a very, very, very massive amount of data will be there. That you cannot just simply copy it and attach it to the, your email ID and send it. It will have a very, very, very massive amount of data. So whenever you have a very, very massive amount of data, whenever you have what's that? A very, very massive amount of data at that time, that's okay. We have to use a technique or the process called what? ETL, that is called as extraction transformation loading. And now guys, for this particular technique called extraction transformation loading, and whenever it is between clouds, and consider this is on premises and this is cloud, whenever you want to transfer the data from on premises to cloud, or between both the that is nothing but between both the on premises data, or between between the between the cloud, at that time we use the service called Azure Data Factory. We use the service called what? Azure Data Factory to perform the job of ETL, that is called as extraction, transformation and loading. So the extraction, transformation and loading, it is provided in order to perform the ETL, that is called as data summarization. That is from the source to the target, from the source to the target. Now guys, when we talk about the cloud services, basically the cloud services are classified here into three categories. The cloud services are classified into three categories, that is called as IaaS, and the second one is PaaS, and the third one is SaaS. IaaS stands for what? Infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. Okay. Infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. That means suppose I am starting up my business and my business have some, okay, some 900 TIB. That means 900 terabyte data is there, my business. So I wanted to store that data. Where do I store it? So for that, directly I can contact the cloud and ask my cloud provider to save to my data. That is, they will give a give a drive, that is called as what? Cloud drive. That is called as what? Cloud drive. Provide the cloud drive to enter the entire data. So rather than accessing the data physically like this, it is just like your OTT platforms, guys, where all the movies are uploaded. Simply we go there, watch it, we pay it, we watch it and come back. Am I right or not? Yes. So in the same way here, instead of releasing the movie in the theater, some of the movies now they are being released on the social platform also, that is called as OTT platforms. What is that? OTT platforms are basically nothing but these are called as what's that? These are called as what? OTT platform data or whatever is the data. These are called as what's that? Tell me now. Yes, cloud data. If you go to the theater and watch the movie, then it is called as what? On premises. Getting my point? This is the thing we have it. So nowadays it's a trend to have the data on cloud because it is facilitating the users with a many various features. That's it. Okay. So now guys, again, you have a PaaS. PaaS stands for what? Platform as a service. Platform means what? Operating system. So now guys, suppose you want a different operating system. You don't want the Windows operating system. You want, what is it? Something operating system to be the Linux. At that time, need not go and again buy this Linux and do all these things. Simply you can inform the cloud provider that I want a service called operating system service. So it is provided in the platform as a service. In the same way, you want some softwares here. So you need not buy the software licenses and everything, guys. You need not buy the software licenses and all. Simply you can inform your cloud provider. Simply you can inform your cloud provider. Okay. So simply you can inform your cloud provider and ask your cloud provider to provide you the service. Obviously, for the service, they will charge it. For every service, they will charge it. For every service they provide you, they will charge it. Okay. This is how the thing. So now, guys, these services, whatever we have it, these are provided by the following market leaders or the software companies which are available in the market. Those are nothing but called as what? The Azure is the first one, which is called as what? Azure from Microsoft. Azure from what is it? Microsoft. Azure from what? Microsoft. And now, guys, the next one, Azure from Microsoft. And again, you have what is it? GCP, that is called as a Google Cloud Platform. GCP, guys, everyone. The GCP is for what? The GCP is from the Google. GCP is from the Google. Okay. And the next one is GCP is from the Google. And then we have the Amazon Web Services, AWS. This is from the Amazon. Likewise, we have many, Amazon, many, that is another cloud providers are there. But even in the market also, Amazon was the market leader since, okay, till the last, that is year and so. Now, slowly, has Azure is coming up. Why? Because the Amazon is bit costlier than the Microsoft Azure. So hence, can you see here? Hence, that cost had been, getting impacted on the same. That is, many of the corporates or many of this are using the cloud service as what? Microsoft, rather than going with the Amazon. So anyways, it's a choice between, individual to individual or company to company to have which one and to, offboard which service. That's their discretion. Okay. So anyway, this is the thing you have it. So now here we are going to learn the Azure Data Engineering and the service called Azure Data Factory. And apart from this, I will also tell you what is Synapse. But bricks part, I will just cover you the basics, this thing, not more into the detail of the bricks. Okay. Because you have a separate batch for Azure Databricks. Okay. So just we have what's it? Azure Data Factory and Azure Synapse. We are going to learn it here as a service. And this will have a duration of, guys, everyone. This will have a duration of 60 hours. You will have a duration of what? 60 hours. Every day, 60 hours will be there. Okay. Sorry, every day 1 hour will be there. At 60 days you will have it. Okay. And now, guys, even the classes you will have it from what? Monday to Saturday. That means 5 days a class you will have it, not a 6 days, guys. If it is required, then we will have it on Saturdays also, but most of the times you will not have the class on the Saturdays. Okay. So this is the thing, Monday to Friday. That's it. Okay. Monday to Friday, this is the session you will have it. And apart from this, the timings, we will start at that is every day we'll start at 8 o'clock. Okay. And end by 9:15. 1 hour 15 minutes class we'll have it. 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay. That's it. And when we talk about the project and all, I will give you a live scenarios. I'm just telling you, not the project, which is really used in the realistic world. Okay. So that will be more than enough for you to crack a interview. That's the thing I can tell you. And apart from this, that's the same. The recording sessions will be provided to you, and the material and all, everything will be given to you on the drive, Google Drive. That's it. Okay. So now, any questions for me? You can go ahead now, please.
Hi, sir. So when actual classes will be start?
From tomorrow. We will continue here from tomorrow at 8 o'clock. The same classes. There will be no change in it. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? So that's it, guys. Thank you all of you for attending, and just we will continue tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Okay.
Samir, I have one quick question.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So what is the main difference between ETL and ELT, you said?
ETL is the olden technique which we use it as a process. ELT is especially used for visualizing data, the data which is used for decision making, the data which is used for the decision making, or you can say analysis, or reporting. Okay, so basically for such kind of data, and nowadays slowly we are moving into the ELT only, not the ETL, wherein extraction and loading will be done first. Transformation is done as per the requirement. Okay.
So that means it's saying ELT means like data warehouse, basically. So we can pull data from there for visualization purpose.
Yes. After putting the data into the data warehouse, we are performing the transformations here. Generally, what
Transformation
happens?
can be
Yeah.
done by Power BI or Tableau or Azure Synapse Analytics.
Yeah. Of course. Of course, you can do it. Power BI is basically for especially reporting, not for ETL. I think so. As far as my thing is concerned. Okay, reporting, that's a reporting software you have it. And when it comes to this, this Azure Data Factory is specially used for this. Okay. And now, apart from this, when it comes to when it comes to the other part, that we talk it here about, that is Azure, Power BI and all. Just make sure that Power BI, everything is basically on the reporting, not on the ETL. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Now go ahead with your question if you have any. Yes.
Sir, where real-time data stores? Is it in transactional database or some other database?
Of course, in transaction database, real time, it depends upon the client. Client will provide you this. You will have to develop this. Okay. Most of the times.
So, Samir, why some company are using Spark? Like Azure
Basically, yes. Of course. See, basically what has happened here is the Azure Data Factory is basically specialized in performing the ETL, performing the ETL. Okay. But this is totally called as a GUI, that is called as graphical user interface. This is called as what? Graphical user interface, GUI. And now another one, apart from this, you have one more service here that is called as a Azure Databricks. This is totally a CUI where you will have everything will be code based. Everything will be code based. Whatever the task you're doing it by the visualization, that is by the purpose, by the way of GUI, graphical user, the same way you will adopt it here in the that is by using the coding method. So for using this Azure Databricks here, we use what is that? A cluster in Databricks called Apache Spark cluster. Okay, and Apache Spark cluster, we use it to write all the codes here, to execute all the codes. Okay, so for that we use what is that? PySpark. For that we use what? Writing the code, we use the thing called what? PySpark, basically. Okay, so anyways,
so PySpark is similar to SQL.
No, almost all you can say, or no also, almost all, everything will be there. See, this is basically a GUI where you don't need to write any code here. Here you have what's it? CUI, character user interface. That's it, guys. Okay. Hello.
Thank you, man.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone. So we'll meet tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Okay.
so
Thank
I
you.
have one question.
Please.
So Azure data factory is also one method, and Informatica is also one method for ETL. So why people are preferring Azure data factory over the Informatica?
Over the Informatica is on premises. It will not do anything in the cloud. If from your computer, if you want to transfer the data to your friend's computer,
Yes, sir.
then Informatica will work. If you want to transfer the data from your computer onto the cloud, that is onto the cloud environment, which is for one of your friends, which is there in America, you want to transfer the data. So at
Yes.
that time, this Informatica is not going to work. For that, we use the cloud support and cloud technological service support. So for that, we use the Azure Data Factory. In common, I can tell you for your answer for your question is that
Yes.
from your mobile phone, you wanted to transfer the data. From your mobile phone, you want to transfer the data to your Google Drive. At
Yes,
that
yes.
time, we use the Azure Data Factory. If you
Correct.
wanted to transfer the data from your one mobile phone to another mobile phone, you can use the mobile share option is there, isn't it or not?
Yes, sir.
That's the way. Getting my point?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's it. Okay, so
One last question, if I may ask.
please.
If I have to be an Azure data engineer, could you please just tell me what are the basic stuff we need to, or the roadmap to be an Azure data, what things we need to learn?
You, as a complete Azure data engineering or the complete Azure data engineer, you wanted to be,
Yeah.
you require to have the knowledge of Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, as well as Synapse. Okay,
Mhm.
as well as the Synapse. These are the, and as well as the Power BI knowledge.
Okay.
So for having the complete, this thing, we require to have all of this.
Very nice, thank you.
Okay.
So which language we should know for the ADV?
For ADB, you can, if it is better if you know the SQL, Python, R, okay, and SQL. Anything you can, for one of the 4 languages.
Okay.
So that's it. Any other questions if you have, you can ask me. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you everyone for attending the class, and we will continue tomorrow. The link will be same and the timings is same for tomorrow also. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'm ending up the class. Thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.